Well, here we are. I'm on the air. Hello. Oh, goodness me. I've been sitting here since last Thursday waiting for this to happen. I have. Oh, it's been a long time since Thursday, and I've been holed up here in my glittery bunker, just waiting for the next time I could broadcast to my dearies. I see you gathering there. Hello, Jimmy. Hello, Jeffrey. Are you there? Yes, you are, love. I see you. Oh, you just might look like a little green blob to me, but I know what you look like in person. I can imagine what you look like in person, that is. Oh, I'm so glad you've joined in. I'm just going to wait a few more moments for the show to begin. But while you're here, between you and I and you, we have a lovely show today. We do. We have something wonderful to broadcast. Oh, look, Donald has joined. Hello there, Donald. How are you today? Well, it looks like it's just the men in here. Oh, I know my audience is don't I? I do. Oh, yes, and look. There's Mary. Hello, Mary. I'm so glad you've tuned in today and always on time. It's lovely to see your little green blurb there appear. And oh, look at the hearts. Oh, I wish I could send you hearts. I do. I wish I could send you something. All I can send you is love. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, Nora's there and Brennan's there. Oh, this is going to be quite a show today. Well, I say, if they're not here, we go without them. So, ladies and gentlemen, let the show begin!
If you're stuck inside and you need some fun, she's the grande dame of getting it done.
Let's learn stuff!
With Victoria Sautee.
Welcome one and all to Let's Learn Stuff with Victoria Sautee, episode 3. It's the very last day of the month of March in the year 2020, and here I am in my glittery bunker, all held up, waiting in here for you. I have so much to impart to you today, dearie. I just can't wait to tell it all. If you are joining me for the first time, and hopefully there is someone out there who's never seen the likes of me before, well, I want you to think of me. Think of me as your mum. Your mum on a good day when she buys you a treat for no reason at all. Think of me as your old granny who reaches into her purse and comes up with a little butterscotch candy that you don't really want, but you feel bad, so you have it anyway. And then once you get it in your mouth, you can taste the lint on it, and you realize that Granny's already had this one once. Think of me as your nice cousin who takes you for a long walk one day in the sun and you get a sunburn. Think of me as that nice lady at the bank when your mum's cashing her paycheck and she gives you a little lolly and you don't really want it, but you take it anyway, and then you realize maybe she's had this too. Think of me as your teacher when she gives you an A. This is more than a Google classroom, dearies. It's a giggle classroom is what it is, and I hope we provide you some giggles. Now, today is Tuesday, and the very first thing I want to do is show you some pictures that some of our friends have sent in last week. I gave you a challenge, I did. I asked you to draw a picture of me, and here's just a couple of them. We posted them on our social media, don't you know? But here's one sent in to us from a girl named Adrian. Now, Adrian's done a lovely job of capturing me, but shall we criticize it for a moment? I mean, the color of my hair, I wish I could get it that color. I think she made that with an egg. And then look at how small she's made my nose. Well, I don't know. Maybe she's giving me a little bit of compliment and praise. My nose is actually quite larger than that. And you know what they say about someone with a big nose. Well, they must say something. And my lips are never that shade, Adrian. I'm sorry, but they're not. She's done a lovely job of capturing last week's gown, and she's placed the flowers just so, hasn't she? I love Adrian's artwork. Thank you, Adrian. She's entitled this work Ambiguous. And we all know what that means now, don't we? And then here we have another drawing from my friend Harper. And there's Harper's impression of me. I'm actually a very small person in there, aren't I, Harper? Yes, and it says, "Hi, darling." It's like, you've captured me exactly. Except one thing, Harper, I have to tell you. My gowns never go below the waist. No, that's true. I'm only costumed from the front up. Only from here up, and that's all you get because we're on a budget on this show now, aren't we? Pantachino.com/donate, and maybe I'll wear a full dress one day. Well, thank you, Harper. I hope you're out there watching today and got to see your little drawing. I'm going to put it on my refrigerator, and every time I eat something, I'm going to think of you. Now, today is Tuesday, and the letter of the day is T. Yes, that's right, it's T for Tuesday, and there's lots of meanings of the word T. Well, with T for two, and TP, which everyone's talking about, TP, and well, I just can't have enough about Tuesday. About T, it's the 20th letter of the alphabet, and upside down, it looks like an L in a mirror, doesn't it? Two L's, you see that? You folded. But it's not two L's in the mirror. It's a T. It's just lovely. And today, I think we're just going to spill the tea. We might. You know what spill the tea means, lovey? Let's start with that lesson. Let's learn that. Spill the tea means to tell the truth. That's right, to tell the truth. And you get nothing but the truth from Victoria Sautee, darling. Yes, that's right. The word of the day. Here's a good word I have for you today. It begins with a T. Of course it does. It's tea day. It's tantalize. That's right. The word of the day is tantalize. Have you ever heard that word there, lovies? No, you haven't, have you? Well, to tantalize is to tease someone with something desirable that they cannot reach. Sort of like how you feel about me. I'm tantalizing you right now because you see me, but you can't reach. That's too bad. You're getting tantalized. That's right. I am tantalized. I used, let's see, give that dog the bone. Don't tantalize him. That's how you use it in a sentence, or you could say that to your mum sometime. Use that, tantalize, to your mum. See what she gives you for that. Now, tantalize comes from the mythical king Tantalus, who was punished by Hades Town to live in a land filled with beautiful fruit. Now, that doesn't sound like punishment now, does it, lovey? No, no. But he was tantalized by the fruit, and every time he reached it, the fruit would go away. I bet you didn't know that. Tantalizing, isn't it, darling? Right. Well, I suppose it wouldn't be a day learning stuff without a trip to Mummy's cupboard. Yes, we're going to reach into Mummy's cupboard. And today, I just happened to reach into the spice portion of Mummy's cupboard. And what did I find? But a little bottle. I found time in a bottle. Now, if I could save time in the bottle, well, the first thing I'd do would be to open it. Do you know what time is? Now, this isn't the kind of time that you tell with your phone device or your digital alarm clock. This is time that is it's an herb. That's right, it's an herb of sorts. And if you look in there, you're going to find these little teeny, I can't even show them to you. They're minuscule, darling, they are. But it's a little tiny aromatic evergreen that's closely related to the oregano. I suppose you could say that thyme and oregano are like little cousins. That's what they are. They're like little cousins. I love herbs. You know, I made a belt out of herbs once. That's right. My friends all told me it was a waste of time. That's what they did. Now, I want to show you a picture of what thyme looks like, darling, because you might never have seen it in its natural state. This is it here. This is thyme. It comes like a little twigs, little twigs with leaves on them, and then they cut the leaves off, and then they throw them in these little boxes of thyme. Now, the Greeks used these in their bath. That's right, they did. Or they would burn it like incense. Do you know what incense is? Oh, I don't know what incense is, but it's something that you burn. It makes a nice smell, sort of like a candle. Now, the Romans took this thyme, and they used it to flavor cheese and liqueur. Now, if you don't know what liqueur is, it's, well, have a look at your mum and see what she's drinking right now. Chances are it's a liqueur. And then the Middle Ages, the knights carried around the time in their suits of armor because they felt it was a source of courage. The time would give them courage. Isn't that wonderful? So fresh or dried, it has an earthy taste. It grows on shrubs. You can put it in your soup. You can put it on meat or chicken or veggies. It's very delicious. So tell Mummy you want to cook with some thyme tonight. And that's what we found up there in Mummy's cupboard today. It's amazing. All this talk about what to eat and Mummy's cupboard. And it's got me thinking of my favorite part of Tuesday. And that's Taco Tuesday. That's right. It's Taco Tuesday today. Now, do you know what a taco is? You've probably had one of these, haven't you, lovies? Yes, I think you have. You see, what we have here is a tortilla, and it's topped with all sorts of good things. You have, some, where is it? There it is. Oh, you have some I don't know what I'm doing. You have some beef in there, darling, and you have some green lettuce there, and some cheese, and some tomatoes, and that's what makes a taco. Now, the origin of a taco is unknown, but what they say was that men working in the silver mines in Mexico would use a small device for mining purposes to open up the mines. It was a little explosive device, and they would wrap that explosive device into a piece of paper, sort of the way the filling is wrapped around with the tortilla. And they would these little teeny things they called them tacos, and they made a little explosion. That's right. And a taco, after all, is like a little explosion of flavor. That's right. And afterwards, for me, a taco gives me a different kind of explosion, darling. But I don't want to get into that right now. A taco, that's right. Now, I bet you're hungry for a taco now, and you don't have to just put meat and cheese in. You could put anything you like inside of a tortilla, and suddenly it's a taco. What? Oh, Mum doesn't have any tortilla in her cubby? Well, I have just the medicine for that, darling. Here we have a regular piece of sliced bread. Oh dear. And what you're going to do with that regular piece of sliced... Oh, my God, I'm almost out of my bunker there. And what you're going to do with that piece of sliced bread, you're going to take a rolling pin just like that, and you're going to flatten that bread straight away. Let me get myself here. And once you finish flattening that bread, darling, I'm going to... I'm a mess here is what I am today. I might need some help in that. What you're going to do is you flatten that bread, and you've come out with this. It's a flat piece of bread. Now, there are those people out there who might not like a flat piece of bread, but what it becomes is a tortilla, and you just fold that little guy up there, and you put in your peanut butter or your jelly or your favorite candies, and suddenly you have a taco. Oh, it's delicious. I don't know about that, but I'm going to finish eating it because that's what I have to do, darling. Tacos come from, often, Taco Bell. That's right, Taco Bell. Have you ever been to one, darling? Yes. Do you know that Taco Bell was started by a gentleman who coincidentally has the last name of Bell? That's right, Mr. Glenn Bell started the very first Taco Bell in 1962. It now has 7,500 stores all around America, and they're all serving tacos. My friend Jenny Louise always says to me, well, every time I go to Taco Bell, I get cramps. And I said, Jenny, next time you go, order tacos. I can't believe it. Well, now that I've finished struggling through my taco there, I need some water. Flatbread. Flatbread. All right. We're going to get back to our tea, everyone, because what's more common on tea day but a tea party? And I say, let's drink up and have some tea, darling. That's right. Look at that lovely pattern. What's it called? Can you read that? I can't. My glasses are... What is it? Is it Noritake or Royal Dalton or Walmart? I'm not really sure what we have there, but we're going to talk about tea. Now, tea is very much like thyme. It's a small leaf. It's an aromatic beverage, and what you basically do when you make tea is you take some dry leaves and you throw water on it, sort of like a fire on the street in autumn. Yes, but that makes for a lovely drink. It really does. It originated in China, and during the Shang dynasty, it was used for medicinal purposes. Oh, that means if you didn't feel well, well, drink some tea. And people still say that, oh, Mum, I've got a little sick stomach today. Well, have some tea, darling. Well, that was brought by merchants over to Europe in Great Britain. Oh, they loved their tea. They still do. And there they have tea parties, and they eat little tea sandwiches, which are little flat pieces of bread, again with the bread, and they put butter. Oh, I've got a piece of bread come back up. I did. I'm going to swallow that bread. Then are you staying in there, bread, you? And you take the bread and you put some butter on it and some cucumbers, and you've got yourself a little English sandwich, and you have that with your tea. Oh, tea first came just loose tea. Well, Mr. Loose Tea. And then Mr. Thomas Stephen started putting them in bags. Now, here's some examples of some little bags. First, they were made out of fabric, you know, and then over the years, they changed shape from this little, wow, it just looks terrible, that little ball of bag. And then it got a little more refined as the years passed. And then it came to this. It's Thomas Lipton in 1952 developed the flow-through tea bag, because it's a little bag. We don't know what it's made out of, that bag. It's a flimsy paper, and you just dip that in your cup, and you're out in a few moments. You're having the most delicious tea. Thank you, Mr. Lipton. Now, when you go to a tea party, darlings, and I'm sure some of you have to have the proper attire, right? So let's get crafty and rack us some tea hats. You need to have the right hat for tea. Of course, you do. You line up all your dollies or all your friends, or, well, right now, just your dollies, and you center them around your table, and you put a funny little hat on each of them, because you want to look the part. You don't just want to drink tea like the everyday other person. You want to look beautiful. So, for our crafty thing, we're going to take a little paper dish. This is actually a paper bowl. Do you have one of these? You just take your little paper bowl and you turn it upside down. And do you see where I'm going with this? You have a hat. You do. You could just wear it on the corner of your head, just like that. But we don't want it to look just like this. We need to be creative. We need to be crafty, darling. So we're going to get out some markers, and you can do whatever you'd like on this hat. Well, not whatever you like, within reason, darling. But you could draw some lovely flowers on the hat, or you could draw just some squiggly lines. Always look good. They always make me feel squiggly. And you could make that line go all around the hat. You could use all your colors. I've got all the colors here. Yes, I do. I've got all my colors, and I'm going to make some hats. Now, here's one. I want to show you one that I finished, darling. And this one here, it's just lovely, isn't it? Yes, this is just lovely. What you see is I've drawn on this with my favorite colors, and on the top I've gotten something rather festive there, haven't I? Do you know what it is? It's nothing more than something I found in my craft drawer. It's look at that. It's a snowflake that I didn't use on Christmas, but I've made a little hole in the top of my hat, and I've shoved it in there, and I made a lovely little tea hat, haven't I? Now, if you don't want to take out your markers and your crayons, darlings, then you can take out Mummy's magazines. And I've gone and I've taken this bowl and I've covered it with little cutouts from Mummy's magazine, things that interested me. Yes, I put a little teddy bear there. There's some Crispies. And look at that slice of pizza there. There's some English muffins. I thought that would be. Wait a minute. What's that? What's that? That's Jane. What's she doing on my hat, Jane? Get out of my hat. There you go. That's what Jane deserves, doesn't she? Now, what else do we... Oh, this one. This one. You might like this one. You might want to have your tea in outer space. So what I've done is I've taken my bowl again and I've stuck on some little stickers. I've given them cute little faces. There's the mummy star and the little baby star and all the star cousins. And I've stuck a pipe cleaner right through the bottom with 2 little holes. Make sure your mummy does the holes. And then there you have it. Oh, I'm having tea in outer space. Ground control to Major Tom. I am out of this world, I am. Now, I know, I heard what you just said. I heard what you said there. But you might not have a paper bowl. Not everyone has a paper bowl. For some reason, I have a cabinet full of them here. But you might just have a paper dish, right? A paper dish like that. Well, look what I've done. I've gone and taken my paper dish and I've attached it with some hot glue to a headband. And I could put that on too. That's a lovely, it's a fascinating kind of a hat. In fact, it's called a fascinator. And fancy women wear them. And look who's on my fascinating. There I am. Hello there, Victoria. Oh, hello there, Victoria. I'm a hat now. Well, there's our little crafty time today. Look what I have here. Something you could order because I know how much you love Victoria, and you could have me now on a shirt. Look at that. You could have my image on a shirt. It comes in adult. It comes in mug. That's right. You could drink from me. It comes in children's sizes too. It's available right now at tpublic.com. And I don't get a penny for you wearing them or buying them, but I just wanted to put it out there because I would love a lot of pictures of people wearing this shirt on my social media. I would. It would really give me a lift. You know, sitting here in the glittery bunker, every now and then you need a lift. Oh, there's that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, and all my dearie friends, it is now story time. That's right, it's story time. And I've got a good one for you today. It begins with the T. It's called Thumbelina. Now, Thumbelina was created by the same gentleman, Mr. Hans Christian Andersen, who was the same person who put his pen to the paper and wrote a story called The Little Mermaid. And he also wrote a story called The Snow Queen, which then once put in the freezer became frozen. So we're going to read the story of Thumbelina. And what I'm going to tell you about this story right from the get-go is, it's weird. Oh, it's very weird. I understand fantasy. No one understands fantasy more than I. But this story, Thumbelina, look at her there. This is flat out weird, but I'm going to read it to you anyway. Let's see what we have here, darling. All right, let me get the first page so you can see the photograph there. So, once upon a time, there was a woman who had no children. There she is there. Do you see her? She looks sad, doesn't she? Oh, no, that's not her. There she is. She looks sad sitting at the window. She had no children. She was reading a book too. She put it down because she had no children to read it to. What the woman really wanted was a glass of tea. No, what she really wanted was a little girl. Now, one day, an old woman came to see her. Where is it? Oh, yes, look at the old woman. Look at what a crone she turned out to be, huh? And put a smile on the other woman's face. And she said, "Plant this seed." Do you see it? Do you see the seed? "Plant this seed," said the old woman, "and soon you'll have a little girl." Oh, right there. The story gets a little weird for me. I don't know if I believe that or not, but anyway. So the woman planted the seed, and very soon there was a flower. All right, I get it so far. But inside the flower came a little girl, and the woman took the little girl into her home. Well, all right. I'll go along with it for now, but this is a little far-fetched for me. All righty now. "You are as little as my thumb," she said, "so I shall call you Thumbelina." Well, all right. I don't know. I think she looks as big as any finger that woman has. That's right. She's as big as her nose. Why doesn't she call her Nosalina, or Mouthalina, or Eyealina, or Foreheadalina, or some other Alina? No, Thumbelina. Anyway, Thumbelina was happy. Really? All right. Anyway. One day, here's where things get kooky. One day, a toad. Where is it? Where's that toad? There it is. A toad saw Thumbelina jumping rope, and she said, "And what a pretty girl," said the toad. "I will take her home with me. She will marry my son." Where does this stuff come from? What was he thinking, Mr. Anderson? So she hopped on the toad. He did, so the toad hopped. That's it. The toad hopped. The toad didn't hop on her. That would have been uncomfortable. But the toad hopped to Thumbelina and took her all the way to the pond. And she soon left Thumbelina on a lily leaf and went back to look for her son. There she look. She's turning away. She puts the girl on a leaf and then she leaves it there. And the girl's like, "No, please come back, come back. I want you. I don't know why, but I do." Now, if that wasn't bad enough, just then, a butterfly flew down to the little leaf. That's right, the butterfly flew down. "Please help me," said Thumbelina. Of course she did. "The toad wants to marry me to her son, but I don't want to do that. I want to go home." Right, she would, wouldn't you? The butterfly flew down to the lily leaf, and Thumbelina jumped onto the butterfly's back, and they flew away to the wood. Well, all right, I'll buy that for $1. Now, Thumbelina was very happy in the wood. She was? All right, but she stayed there all summer long. But then when winter came, oh, the butterflies flew away. That's what they do. That's why they call them butterflies. They fly away. Thumbelina was all alone, poor thing. Well, guess what? A mouse came by. You know, something bad's going to happen anytime a mouse comes by. I was once in my room and a mouse came by and started to eat my leftover pizza. It didn't make me happy at all. The mouse came by. Help me, said Thumbelina. I'm cold. I don't have a home. The mouse said, come live with me. Well, the winter was very long. That's what a long winter looks like. Soon there will be no food for you, said the mouse, because the mouse ate all the food. I'm editorializing here, but it looks like the mouse ate all the food. Now, the old mole has food, said the mouse. He's coming to see us. Why don't you marry him? Why is everyone so obsessed with getting married in this book? Well, Thumbelina wasn't happy. Once again, why would she be? And she didn't want to marry an old mole, and she didn't want to live in a dark tunnel. A dark tunnel is where old moles happen to live. Well, when the old mole came by, he said, come and see my home in the tunnel. You will be happy there. He's delusional. So Thumbelina went to the mole's home in the dark tunnel. Well, in the mole's tunnel, Thumbelina saw Swallow. Now, Swallow is that big bird that she's hanging on to there. That's what she did. And she saw the swallow who was hurt. And the swallow said, oh, my friend flew away. When winter came, I'm all alone. Ring a bell, that's just like Thumbelina. Well, Thumbelina looked after the swallow all winter long, and when summer came, the swallow flew away. Oh, I can't believe it. That swallow should have been right there with her. No, he flew away. He flew away to be with his friends. Oh, what a selfish swallow he was. Well, once more, Thumbelina was alone. Soon it will be winter again. Time passes quickly here. I have to marry the old mole and live down his old dark tunnel, she said. Oh, just then, Thumbelina Swallow came down. Well, it's about time, Mr. Swallow. And he said, come with me and I'll take you to the land of summer. What's that, like where the Beach Boys are? We're on the beach there with gold. I don't know what the land of summer is. So Thumbelina jumped onto the swallow's back. She kept jumping all through the story, and they flew away. In the land of summer, well, there were flowers, and in each flower, now stay with me here, in each flower lived a little boy or a little girl, just like Thumbelina. Oh, come live with us, they said. Well, they took Thumbelina to see the prince. And the prince said, what do you think he's going to say? Will you marry me? Of course, everyone, it's all about marriage, this story. And Thumbelina said, having only known him for a few short moments, yes! And the prince and Thumbelina lived happily ever after. And I kid you not, that's the story of Thumbelina, tiny little thing. Well, I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I've worked up a sweat on that story. It was downright tantalizing, is what